Hey everybody, this is Jamie Shaw, and this is a 24-hour marketing mastermind. Our compadre Dave has had a little mishap and won't be able to join us tonight. Katie is getting a salad as we speak, and Pops is trying to get on. So I had some echo in the background. I had the fan page going live too, and had the volume on, so I had to mute it out. But tonight we're going to be talking about how events change your life. And I've been to a few events in my marketing career, and they have definitely had an impact on me. And this coming weekend is Live the Dream 8, and with unforeseen circumstances, I won't be able to make it. I'm pretty disappointed in it because I was really looking forward to going to it, and like I said, it's just something that's out of my control that I can't go this year. But events are very important in your internet marketing career. Former company we're with, they had events like every 3 months, but I don't know if every 3 months is a necessity, but one or two marketing events a year, can have a big impact on your life. The current company we're with have one powerful event per year. Then there's other big leaders that have events, and Pops and Katie just went to a big powerful event, and they're getting ready to go to Live the Dream this weekend, so events are probably crucial in the change of your mindset, the change, the power of the people that you meet. I met Pat Patterson at an event. That's how I got aligned with Pat Patterson. And I met other great leaders at events. Hi, Pops. I see you finally got on.
Yeah, hey, Jamie. Yep, finally made it. It was a brutal challenge, but we done it.
Well, I got us live already. It's like 2 minutes after, so I went ahead and went live, and we're rolling, talking about how events change your life. So
awesome. Yeah, it's important subject.
Sure. My first event was Chicago event, and I was a Chicago event, and I was scared to death to meet anybody. I absorbed all the information. We had a lot of fun up there. My wife and I did, and because it was flooding in Chicago at the time we got up there, so we had fun getting up there and fun getting home. And then my next event was Nashville, and that's where I met Pat Patterson. And the one cool thing about hanging out with Pat Patterson at an event, you get to meet everybody, all the leaders. You get kicked out of restaurants, everything. So, so it's fun. But let's see, Pops and Katie are on. I'm going to kind of turn the floor over to them because they're going to talk about the last event they just attended. So whoever wants to go.
I'll go ahead. Actually, Chicago was my first event. We're in the same company, Jamie, so I thought that was pretty cool. But we didn't know each other. We didn't know each other at all. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So, there might be a little bit of a delay, so if it sounds like I'm interrupting you, I'm not doing it on purpose. So, the event that Pops and I just went to is an Eric Warray event, and he's a network marketing pro. That's basically his brand. And then we went in there with the intention of writing down all the information, because I got my start in network marketing, and so did Pops, right? And I think that's how we all get our starts, is in network marketing. And I fell in love with network marketing back in 2013. But anyways, I got into that event with the intention of writing as much information as I can that will benefit those who could use a breakthrough, those who could just have that one more thing that, yes, they've heard it before, but it's told in a different way. I believe that's what creates the breakthrough. Little did I know that through that event, I actually dreamt of my own. I had my own little personal breakthrough where I dreamt of a company where I found a way to get my work out into the world through people in like a much bigger way. So I'm super excited to get that started. And the first time I ever saw past like a month, in a personal plan. It's my first time I actually had like a 5-year plan, so it's really super exciting. Just let me backpedal just for a second. Is that Chicago event that you and I attended, you, me, Pops, and so many people that we know in our little social group. That was my first event ever in experience in network marketing. I didn't even know what network marketing. I didn't even know I was in it when I went there. And right then and there, I went there with the same thing, but for myself, with the intention of absorbing all this information. And I actually had a brand new notebook. And when I left there, I had probably maybe 2 or 3 pages left of like blank. So I had a full notebook of so much notes. And actually, I still have that notebook from 2013. With this particular company that we were with, they had an event every 4 months. And I'm telling you, I was hooked. I wanted to find out more. I wanted to get to know more about these people. I wanted to absorb as much information as I possibly could. So I kept going to those events every single 4 months for about over 3 years. So I was hooked. Okay, I was literally, I keep saying that because it's true. I get hooked because there's no better feeling than being at an event and actually meeting these people and saying, yeah, I've heard your stories in these trainings or maybe online or something, but to actually meet them in person and actually see the convictions in their eyes and how they tell you and how humble they are and just how they're just like us, right? So it's really, really awesome. So to do that. So we did that for a while until my grandpa was in ill health. So we didn't go to events for over a year. So this Eric Worre one in Vegas that we just did, it's been a long time since I've been in an event. And I'm like, I got into that mode again. Like, okay, we got to get there early. We got to make sure we're first. I'm going to camp out. I got to make sure we have snacks. I'm going to drink less water so I don't have to go to the bathroom that often, which, by the way, which is a benefit for this last event, is that they actually had the speakers in the bathroom. So I was able to go. But it felt good. It felt good to actually meet people again. I left here with a few great new friends, right? So it was, and a lot of people that were actually in my hometown. I'm like, what? Because Eric Worre is from Minnesota. So he's from the Twin Cities. That it was really cool. I believe he's from the Twin Cities, but it was really, really cool to actually find out there's more than just us as Minnesotans there, just me and my pops. And so we got to connect that way. I thought it was so cool. So through these experiences in these events, I think the most valuable thing I can get from there is just meeting people and building up my network of amazing, fantastic people, because they say you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. If you are surrounded by people that are just kind of holding you back, I mean, they don't do it on purpose. They may not do it on purpose. But this is the way to actually get yourself connected with people who have been there, and they can show you exactly how they did it, what to do next. Maybe find a new buddy that can actually help you along the process, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about it. Did you want to say anything, Pops, or?
My Pops MIA at the moment, but you know, and that's true. You know, it's too bad Kitty and I didn't know each other back at the Chicago event, because you know, I probably wouldn't have been so scared to talk to people back then if I would have known somebody at the event. And we went up there blind, didn't know anybody. And, you know, and the same way when I went to Nashville, I didn't know anybody. I just happened to be out in the smoking lounge and run into Pat Patterson, and, you know, and we struck up a friendship, you know, and Pat's an amazing person. So, you know, so 2 years in a row I went to Nashville and got to hang out with Pat, you know, and then I met Katie and Pops live in Nashville in 2016, you know, and we all hit it off, you know. We all have a tight knit inner circle, and we all hang around with each other, you know. And like I said, you know, for unforeseen circumstances, I cannot make Live the Dream this weekend, and that's what I'm going to miss out on the most, is not the show, not the speakers. It's going to be the interacting with the leaders. getting to meet all the leaders, getting to hang out with them, getting to, have after hours parties with them, getting to know them, getting to talk to them, getting to pick their brains, because there's a lot of leaders I'd love to meet. And I've met some leaders in the past, and some big leaders, like Aaron Raskin and Alex Zuberoff. I've met them. Those guys, have gone on to do great things in internet marketing in this space, and they're big leaders in their own right. And it's great to see how these leaders are just everyday people like you and me when you're at an event, and it's cool just to hang out with them. One of my big mentors is Paul Hutchings, in Nashville in 2016. I got to meet Paul Hutchings, got a picture with him, and that, and then I asked him a couple questions later on, and, he was more than happy to answer my questions, and just hang out with me. And I got to meet Lawrence Tam too. Lawrence Tam is a big marketer, and Lawrence is just, a down to earth, a mechanical engineer, and I actually work in the engineering field. So we kind of connected too, so it was really cool. So, is Pops there, or is he eating?
Yeah, he's here. His camera is kind of goofy. I'm sure his audio will be just fine. But I just wanted to say real quick, Jamie, that Lawrence Tam is actually going to be there next week.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome.
It's going to be fun.
Tell him I said hi. But, and most of these events that we go to, they're not pitch events. I mean, they may have a new product coming out or something like that they'll sell us on, but it's not really a pitch event. It's an educational event. They're teaching you new strategies that are going on. They're teaching, you're getting the hobnob with the leaders. You're learning this leader strategy, like Katie said, you go in with an empty notebook and you come out and your notebook's full and all them notes are uncashed checks, as Mike Hobbs says. And that's someone else I got to meet was Mike Hobbs, so.
I'm going to, here's Pops. Go ahead.
Oh, I came on? No camera though.
No camera. I got audio though.
Okay. All right, whatever. I really like going to events. I can learn a lot from that, and my notes I can always refer to, and there's a lot to be said for buying products and learning from them, because then you can go over them again and again and again. But it just isn't quite like an event where you can see the leaders, you can relate to them live, and you can meet up with them. There's just nothing like it. And Eric Worre was really dynamic. He just gave away the farm pretty much. He taught from A to Z on network marketing. Of course, he's an MLM guy, so a lot of it kind of related to that. But there is a lot of carryover because it's still relating to people, how to communicate with them, or at least get on them. One of the biggest takeaways I got is when you can get them on the phone or meet them in person in a coffee shop or a Skype or something live, there's nothing better than a live conversation and getting to know someone better and letting them get to know you. Your voice inflection comes through, your sincerity comes through a lot more, and that was a big takeaway. I've always been, for a while, I was afraid to talk to people because I didn't know what the heck to say when I started out. Of course, we all had that, and some still do. However, it's just like talking to anybody else. We're all alike, basically, with the little nuances. We're all from the way we were raised or something, but basic human relation is all the same. And once you jump that hurdle, you're going to find out that you will be able to attract more people simply by talking to them. Some you won't get along with or meet eye to eye. However, there's no animosity as a rule, and you could refer them actually to somebody else because we are here to help. And there's nothing wrong with referring them to somebody else if you don't think you can work with them. If you can qualify them first of all, I guess, to see if they're going to really be interested. And that's the important part of talking to someone one-on-one, because you can kind of screen them to see, what they're interested in, what they want to do, and why, what they're doing now. And you can tell your story. That's the biggest part, telling your story of what you did for work. Basically, it wraps around work environment, what you did, and then what you didn't like about it, and then what you found to rectify or to cure that, so you can move on in your life in a better environment and for sure make more money. That's the way most people get into this for, is for the money, and that's why they're contacting you to make more money and free themselves from either their job or help, get them out of whatever living environment they're in. But getting back to the live events, just fantastic, and we're going to another one. Ray Higdon's coming up after this MLSP one. And boy, we're really looking forward to that one. That's going to be phenomenal as well. But all these live events, the people you meet, you get excited. They want to talk to you. They want to help you. They'll give you strategies. Boy, I'll tell you, it's insane. I just like going to them. We're going to be going back in November. We're going back to Las Vegas again for another Eric Worre event. And this is a big one he has every year, the Network Marketing Pro event, and there's going to be over 10,000 people there. We're going to be at the convention center, and I have seen that. I bought online a couple of years ago this event, and man, it's it's so exciting, and it's going to be even better when we get there. And he has he's going to be bringing in leaders from different environments, different MLM groups, because that's his thing, MLM, but it doesn't matter, because again, it still carries over. And they're going to give away one of the criteria that he said that they had to do in order to come to this event. And of course, they can sell their wares and stuff like that, so they have an incentive there. However, the biggest thing that they had to agree to do was to tell everyone what strategies they are using right now that are working, up-to-date strategies. So when you buy a course, some of it might be outdated because things change quickly. Live event, the leaders up on stage are telling you what is working for them right now. So I think it's really important to get to them. Yeah, it can be a hassle getting to them and affordability and such. And to me, it's worth it. Katie and I, we went to quarterly events for years. Well, so Chicago again was our first one up until the very last one, except for the Miami thing. But we only missed one, and I think it was a family thing that kept us from going to Seattle that year. But again, I have so many notes that are so valuable. They're invaluable, because all this stuff these people are talking about works. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. So paying attention is very important, and taking good notes. And I'm a terrible note taker, but I can read them most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Oh, excuse me. I have a bit of a sore throat that I'm trying to get over. So if I try to laugh, I'm going to swallow my tongue. So I got to be careful. Now, Katie, you guys better take over, because I'm going to cough.
I was just going to say, I like to take notes. I'm like, oh, there's a cough, everybody. Pops is always sitting next to me. But I like to take notes, and I take notes all the time. But the problem is I take them so fast that I can't read my own handwriting. Hey, your visuals on. That's cool, Pops. But oh, kind of frozen. But anyways, Jamie, do you write notes when you're at the events?
I always write notes. And speaking of notes, if you're on Katie's list, you got access to part 1 of these notes, and I've got them right here, all 9 pages of them. And I've gone through them, and I'm just like, wow.
Sweet, thanks, Jamie. It was 9 pages. I just kept typing. I just couldn't stop.
I left you a nice comment too. So.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But real quick, I wanted to say in the comments, I see Andrew. Hello, Andrew from Canada. And then there's Joe, also Canada, Joe Whistler. And I think guest number Carlene. Hello, Carlene. And I believe guest number 334 is Kevin. I think that's Kevin.
That would be me. Guest is me.
Oh, guest is you, Dad?
Because I
that's creepy. You couldn't log in. Okay, so guest is Pops. But anyways, I wanted to ask the guests here if when you guys go to events, do you guys, or when you absorb information, do you guys write notes? Who else is here is the note taker? I know there's like a 15-second delay, so we'll give them a chance to put their answers in there. But I have notebooks just filled all the time. And what Jamie was talking about with my notes is that I actually took all the notes that I took in the Eric Worre event, and I'm actually sharing my notes. Oh yeah, that's a pile of notebooks there, Jamie. We got those too. But I took all these notes, and I'm actually sharing these in video form and in text form. That's what Jamie showed you, is those 9 pages in text form. I basically transcribed everything not everything that I said, but the gist of it. So I shared like maybe a quote, something that Eric Worre said that I knew that my audience and my my clients and my team members or people in the workshop that we could talk about here in a little bit. I know that they could benefit from it. So I took these quotes that triggered something in my mind that I could tell a story to help somebody out. So I'm sharing those notes only to people who are on my list and who's in the workshop. So that's it. And what I basically did is just poured it all on paper, just all my experiences. This product that Eric Worre, this was a very unique event that I happened to follow Eric Worre on Facebook, and I actually saw something where he says, I'm creating a new product, and we're actually going to video it and actually I need an audience. I need an audience. That's what he says. He's like, I'm not going to give it away for free. So he had to pay, not much, but we had to pay to get there. But thankfully, Pops and I had the time to go to Vegas to get there and be part of that production. It's about just 1,000 people, and that's about it. And he just wanted to have that excited audience. 15 hours each day with lunch breaks. And they weren't that long. I think the last one, they were an hour. But it was like, that was it. Lunch and a dinner break. So they're an hour each, but it's 15 minutes. 30 hours for 2 days. It was just nonstop, like amazing training that he did. And what opened my eyes is that I said I could do that. I want to do that. I want to be the next Eric Worre, not the next Eric Worre. I want to be like them, like where I want to be on stage, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Asked me 2 years ago, I'm like, no, but maybe even a year ago. But anyway, so this product that's coming out, it's going to be $1,800. $1,800. I mean, well, Jamie, you already know this. That's actually reasonable, right? Especially for who Eric Worre is, and especially what we've invested in our experience, in our past. But I took these notes from an $1,800 product that's coming out soon, not sure when, and I shared my experiences and what he said and all the breakthroughs that I know that people can benefit from. So that's why I shared it on just for my list only. So if anybody wants to be on my list, they can, so they can share those notes. So I can share those notes with them. If you're in the Workshop Warrior group, then you can have those as well. I gave it, it's in a post that I put in password protected. So you get my password, you get the link, the password, and then you can access those notes. So I had a question for you, Jamie, is that the continued education that we are just so used to doing, right? Talk about how you invested into this this other education. You don't have to say how much you spent unless you want to, but tell us why you did that, because I thought that was actually really cool. So that was just recently, like maybe beginning of this year or something like that?
Yeah, I bought into, well, actually, just here a couple weeks ago, I bought a YouTube program and a Facebook fan page program, and I've done pretty much completed them. But the beginning of the year, I invested into a private coaching system with a coach, and she's a world-renowned coach, and it has nothing to do with the company I'm in or a previous company I'm in. I mean, this is just a coach that does online teaching and stuff, and she's available. If I send her a message, she responds right back to me. And it's basically 2 programs in one. It's business coaching and life coaching, and if I choose to pursue the part 2 of the life coaching, I can get my life coach certification, but I have to complete the steps. I have to complete the real world examples and go out there and do the work and submit it to her for grading. And, and then she grades me on it. And, I spent quite a bit of money on it. It was a pretty good investment. But I did it because I want to be able to help my people that come in and ask me questions and stuff, and help the Workshop Warrior Institute. I want to be able to help them more, be able to, feed off the real world examples that I've had and be able to mentor and coach them better. So that's why I invested in that. I'm always invested in training. I've got a Traction Marketing Intensive by Diane Hockman. I've been through it the second time, was able to take notes and stuff like that. I'm only in the coaching program. I'm only in module 2. I'm not in no rush to do it. Life coaching certification is a big deal, so it's not something I want to rush through. I want to take my sweet time and gain all the value I can get. That way I can bring it back to the marketplace and bring it back to my business colleagues and share it with them as well. And that's what's part of our workshop is, we share insights and stuff that we've learned. That's one of the big advantages of being in the workshop, is that you get information that you're not going to get firsthand out in the marketplace. So it was a big investment for me, and it's a big challenge for me, because I feel like I'm in college again, because I have to work to get the results that I want, and the first module was really challenging because I had to ask, my business partners how they felt about me and what they can improve on me about, so I got a lot of feedback for that, and what was funny is most of them said the same thing, that I need to look at the camera more, I need to interact with the audience more, and I had several people in the Workshop Warriors to respond to me, and that was, pretty much the gist of it, that I need to look at my audience more, whether I'm talking to one person or the whole group, I need to interact with them more. So, another reason that I buy programs and go through them and teach them is because it makes me better. Self-education in the network marketing industry is crucial. If you're not learning in the network marketing industry, internet marketing industry, you're not doing anything. I paid $100,000 to go to college to be, IT guy, an IT manager and a CAD manager, and I make a good salary, but something's always been missing in that, and that what is missing, I found in the Workshop Warrior Institute, mentorship from Katie and Dave and Pat, and Pops, and just hanging around with them, And speaking of, just mentorship, how cool is it that Kati and Pops, you get to travel all over the world? They're living the freedom lifestyle. They came here, what was it, May? And spent,
May 9th.
Yeah, spent a week here, where I live. I got to hang out with them quite a bit, but I didn't get to hang out with them as much as I wanted to because my job got in the way. But, we still got to have fun, we had a couple cookouts and got to hang out, and we had a good time. And we didn't really do a lot of masterminding. We just hung out,
We got some awesome deer meat from you, Jamie. We still, we're making sure that lasts because I love deer meat.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Well, that's good, and so that's why I kind of invested in myself, and I feel that I'm worth it. So I jumped off the end of the diving board in the deep end and said, I need this. So that's why I did it.
Now, when you get into investing in yourself that way, and the only reason you're doing it is because of the industry you're in, and that's to help people. So you wouldn't do a very good service to others if you don't invest in yourself and you're trying to mentor them in old strategies or unknown strategies. And that's part of growing, is learning from the masters, learning from the leaders on what's working and how to do things. And then you can serve people the right way. And that's what's going to lead to success. you have to just stay on top of things. All businesses need to do that, and this is a business. It's not a game. And one thing to realize, you're playing with people's lives. You don't want to lead them down the wrong paths, because that's just, of course, you wouldn't want that happen to you. I wouldn't want it to happen to me. And fortunately that it hasn't. I've had some very, very great advice from leaders just being at the events, and I'd learned more there, I think, than I've learned anywhere, because I'm a listener to begin with. I do more listening than I do talking. Not tonight, but listening is a very good quality for being able to understand what people are trying to say, and asking questions adds to that. When they ask me a question, I'll kind of give them a light answer, but then I'll turn around and ask another question of them, because people do like to talk about themselves most of the time. And asking those questions will give you an idea of where they're going, where they want to go, and that's how you can steer them in the right direction, particularly on what kind of form they want to use to build their business. Of course, it's mostly social media or one-on-one, and not everyone's. I don't do Facebook very much. I need to step that up, I think, because it's important to stay on top of almost all of them to a certain degree. I do Twitter most of the time, and video marketing is one of the best ways for people to get to know you, because they see you and they see you talking, and they can get to know you better that way. But it's important to keep educating yourself in all aspects. I mean, everybody's done that. Sam Walton, is that his name? Walmart? Yeah, Sam Walton. He walked into other stores, and he was always dressed in his cowboy hat and his boots and dirty coveralls or whatever it was, because he drove an old pickup all the time. He went into other stores to see what they were doing, so he could better step that up and better compete with them. And look what that turned into. His kids took on that same manner, and that's how it blew away the entire market of the world. And that's an important thing about learning from the masters and from the leaders on how to step up your game and teach the right formulas to the people that are connecting to you. And they're connecting to you because they see something in you that they like, and they will trust you when you steer them in the right direction. And courses and events are the key, in my opinion, on growing yourself. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with that, Pops. And it's, there's just so much information out there, and you want what's working now, not what's working, a year ago. You want what's currently trending right now, and Katie giving you these notes. I'll give you a little secret of what's in here.
I like sneak peeks.
She talks to you about she talks about telling your story, and there's 4 steps to it. I'm not going to give you the 4 steps, because you're going to have to get in touch with Katie if you want to know the 4 steps. But step 2, I never really thought about step 2 very much, and that's pretty interesting. And what you say through there is to think about step 2, so that's my opinion. I need to tweak that into my story more than I do, because I always do step 3 and step 4, and I never quite get step 2 in there. So
I actually know your step 2, and it almost made me cry that one time, Jamie. You remember?
Yeah, I remember. I've had several of you almost in tears on step 2. So
yeah, I'm just too proud to show my tears. Otherwise, I would be bawling.
I wonder what threatened me one night. Said, if you make me cry, I'm gonna hurt you.
Oh, that's so funny. She's like just like me. It's so scary.
Yeah.
But I wanted to actually touch on another subject about how we learn, how we absorb information. Because actually, Pops and I were talking about this today, and I didn't know this about Pops. and I thought it was really interesting, and it helped me think about the way I absorb information. Kind of like if you go on Facebook and someone says, "Hey, do you like Kindle books or do you like real books?" And I'm like, I like both. Jokingly, I say, because I like reading the same book on right in front of me and listening it to actually audio. That's what it was. So there's real books, Kindle, and then there's audio. So I said I like reading the book in front of me and listening to it at the same time, because not only does it take care of the ADHD, but it also takes care of the dyslexia. Just as a joke. It's funny, whatever. But it's true. Exactly. See, that's my favorite book, Think and Grow Rich. Absolutely love it. Our good buddy Paul Hutchings gave me a special edition one with gold edges. I just love it. So here's the thing. Here's how I love to absorb information, as anywhere as I possibly can, right? But there are some forms that I absorb better than something else. Like for me, in the beginning, I wanted to do nothing but watch training videos and then just pause it, and maybe I have to go to the bathroom, then I can unpause it, and then I can continue on or take a break and do it that way. So that's the way I loved it at the beginning. But I kept that information inside me, okay? I didn't share it with anybody. Now, the best way that I learn is that I absorb the information and then I go try it, because it's curious, right? You want to test it. So I go try it, and that's the best way that I learn, is that I want to see if this idea is going to fail or not. So that's the thing. We don't fail, really. The idea fails, and then we just got to tweak it a little bit and try it some more. So then that's how you learn, or that's how I learn. So what's interesting about Pops, I'm going to actually have him talk about it and why he loves events so much more in a way to absorb information. I'll just let him talk about it. So go ahead, Pops.
Hi, well, again, I said before that I'm more of a listener, and when I'm at an event, I can learn more because I do better listening, and I can see the person, how they're relating, how they're talking, and it makes an impression on me. Even on YouTube, I like YouTube for some training, for a lot of training, actually. I do YouTube a lot for videos. I guess I'm more of a visual guy, body language, and facial expressions. There was some jokes that Eric Worre threw out there, and I didn't laugh a lot. And Katie said, "Didn't you think that was funny?" I said, "Well, yeah, it was funny, but I'm waiting for the next juice. I'm not going to spend a lot of time laughing at some joke when he's going to roll right into something else, and I don't want to miss any of the juice." But the visual and the hearing is how I learn best. And when I do the YouTube things, I can, like Katie said, go back and play it over again and over again and do the notes. If I miss something, I can go back. Fortunately, with the Eric Worre, every event that I've been to, almost, I have bought a video copy of it, so I can go back and watch it again, because I can't trust my notes or my memory. None of us really can, because there's a lot of information that gets spilled out in that short period of time from various people. Fortunately, in this case, it was mostly Eric Worre. He had another guy come on and teach some things. But the other company we were involved in, there was like 30 different people in the whole weekend, or actually week, that would spill things out there. And there goes my throat again. So I'm a visual and a listener, and to me that's important. And that's why I like to talk to people and ask them questions, and I can listen. And of course, it's not nice to take notes, although when you're talking to somebody, although you're talking about a business opportunity with someone, and there's nothing wrong with asking them if you could take notes, and so that you can get it right. And you're going to take the notes and then ask them, "Is this what you meant?" And sometimes they're going to say, "Well, no, that's not quite what I meant." And then they'll expand on it. So I think it's very important when you're talking to someone to take notes, and typically they're not going to mind that at all. In fact, they may appreciate that, because they're going to know and feel that you care enough about what they're having to say that you're going to want to get it right. So be prepared to have a notebook with you. I carry a notebook with me constantly. I always have my notebook and a pen with me. And this one's not full yet, but I have a few that are. And you make them feel better. You make them feel at home, and that's where the trust comes in. And they will be more likely to open up when you keep asking them questions and you're writing the notes down. Again, visual for me is a big thing because I like the body language thing, so I can tell if somebody's going to try to BS me or not. And sometimes they do, but not very often. Not in this business. You know, there's people that throw hype out there, but that doesn't mean that they're lying necessarily. They're just, you know, the hype can be about a product that may be a good product, but their approach is not attraction marketing like we endorse attraction marketing, where you brand yourself and get the people to know, like, and trust you. And they'll do that by teaching them and listening to them and taking notes about what they have to say. Back to you in the studio again.
Oh, exactly on that, Pops. You know, and I take notes on, 24-hour marketing mastermind. I listened to Katie's, video on her Eric Worre event, and then I noticed a little tab where I could download the notes. I listened to that. I was taking notes during that. I take notes on Monday's 24-hour marketing mastermind. When somebody else is talking, I usually take notes. I'm taking notes right now when Katie and Pops are talking. I take notes on Wednesday night during Pat Patterson's Wisdom Wednesday. I even take notes on during my own show. I may have epiphany or a bright idea, so I'll jot it down real quick. And especially in the workshop, I take notes. That way I can learn from the other leaders in there. And I've noticed a lot of us are doing this. One of our leaders in the workshop zoomed out her camera and started talking because she talks with her hands a lot, which I do too. And I noticed Kate talks with her hands quite a bit too. So we've all kind of zoomed our cameras out because it helps in the visual process, because I always talk with my hands, I always have, so it helps out, and I don't think really any of us really realized that until we seen her do it, and then we started doing it ourselves, so, and Katie and Pops can really relate to this as well. One of the reasons that I invest let me use the other phrase. I invest in products, I learn it, I do it, I teach it, is because I don't want to leave anybody behind. And that's Katie's motto in the workshop, is not to leave anybody behind, because we got left on an island in a previous company, and we don't want to see anybody left behind. So if you're struggling, we're here to help. And all you got to do is just pick that big yellow, shiny yellow candy-like button and get in, 10-day test drive, and then you get free access to the workshop that we keep talking about. And I'm promising you, it'll change your life. We have big success rate, so I'm going to turn it over to Katie and let her talk about the workshop a little bit. So.
Thanks, Jimmy. I love it that we transitioned to the workshop, because that's like our little mini event once a week. And the whole story, the backstory that you and I have, Jamie, is that we're actually Pops too. So we're left all alone feeling left alone on an island. But what we had that education that we bought into, this stuff that'll make us grow, right? And then I'm actually still using today. I bought it in 2013, and I'm still using it today. It shows up out of nowhere. I'm like, where? Oh, that's where that came from, right? So what happened is, for that workshop, how that kind of came together is that Dave came to me with this idea, and I'm like, yeah, we need to do this, because it was a great way to get a lot of people together all in one time. Everybody shows up on a Zoom, which is a platform where everybody gets a chance to speak. Everybody gets a chance to meet each other. Everybody gets a chance to show themselves, right? Ask questions, comment. It's a safe place. There's no cross recruiting. There's no, it's safe. Okay. It's somewhere where we share ideas and we also practice. And I think this is the best part of it, is that if you are a little bit afraid to be on video marketing is huge. Okay. People need to see you. Make sure they're real. People need someone who's real. So if you're a little bit afraid of video marketing, that's okay. We can help. We're like, okay, you can practice with us, I know it sounds a little bit terrifying, but you get to know us, you get to learn who we are, you get comfortable with us, we're just a group of friends, and then you can come on, you say, hey, you know what, I want to teach something. And then it doesn't have to go anywhere after that. It could be, yes, it is recorded, but it's private, okay? It's only shown by other members of the Warriors, okay? So it's up to you once you get into this training mode and you want to share something, okay? We can have the option to actually splice that out, and you can send it off to your list. Work is done, right? And that's how you can start your journey of all this video marketing stuff and sharing information. And I got to tell you, it's addicting. This video stuff, it's very addicting. And so when Jamie talked about success rate, I say it's a consistent 80%, because first of all, to get in the workshop, you have to click on that yellow shiny candy like button, and it's just a trial. You can test us out. There's no pressure whatsoever. We're asking you to be a tire kicker, but you will stay because you're going to see what we got going on and you're going to want to stay. But you can test it out, $10, 10-day trial, which gets you in that Saturday night workshop. Okay, there's 10 days, you got plenty of time. Come to the workshop and come meet us. And in order to get to that workshop, you have to make a video that says who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. Just it can be 2 minutes. You can just hit record and you can pretend you're talking to your cat. You can just say it, right? Then we let you in the workshop, which is another group on Facebook, another private group and a private chat. And then you'll get the link for the Zoom.
Okay, I'm gonna take it back.
On a Saturday. It's Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you come on, you meet us. We get kind of warmed up or whatever, then we hit record and we just kind of go into the training or into conversations, or we just kind of hang out, right? We kind of hang out and open it for any questions. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, that's okay, because we have a wide variety of different people who are in different levels of this type of business. And my favorite, I think, are the brand new people, you, who come in with a brand new set of eyes and say, well, why don't we do it this way? I love that, because I'm like, holy crap, I never thought of that way. Let's do that, right? And then, I think that's the most amazing thing. So if you have these ideas, say that if you've had experience before about people coming and pitching you or saying, join my company or yada, 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 and there's something that you don't like about that's kind of giving you a bad taste, come bring it to us and we can tell you exactly how they're doing it wrong and how they shouldn't be pitching you and how it's the right way to do it. Basically become the hunted and not the hunter, which is amazing, because you don't have the bug friends and family. Your friends and family are going to come to you like, hey, what are you doing, right? And we can teach you what to say, right? We can teach you that little thing to say, oh yeah, that thing, oh yeah, that's just something on the side. You wouldn't be interested in it anyways. Now let's talk about your cat. I keep saying cat, I don't know. You know what I mean? You just play it cool, right? And people are more interested in that. They're like, oh no, let's forget about my cat. Let's go back to this thing. It's so cool how that plays out. So just come try us out. So click on that button down below. Does anybody else want to? Yeah, Pops has got something that he wants to say in his experience. So.
Boy, my computer's slow here. I want to give those of you who are considering trying that 10-day trial, and I personally think you should go for the whole enchilada, because depending on your schedule and your family life and 10 days may not be enough for you to dive into it enough to get a good idea of what's going on. Do yourself a favor and do yourself due diligence so that you can understand what's in there and go through some of the trainings. That takes time when you want to find out what you're interested in, whatever social media you're interested in trying out, or if you already have some experience, which one you're already doing and want to get some advanced training. You need time to go through all that. And if you don't have the time, I suggest you just join, because there's no contract. You can quit anytime. If you go for the trial, if you choose to do that, if you think you have the time to go through the stuff, on a Friday. Join on a Friday so that you can attend 2 workshops because they are on Saturdays, and you will do, or if you do a Thursday, you could still hit, the last day of your trial would be the second Saturday, one or the other. And actually, if you do decide to do the trial and you get to the workshop, I suggest doing a Friday to join so that the second workshop you can talk to us about what you've seen and you can get your questions answered, and based on that you can decide whether to go for a month, another month beyond the trial, so you can give yourself a chance to know what's in there and what it can do for you. We know what it can do for you. You may not. So it's very important for you to really, really get into it, because there is a lot there, and it keeps building. And there's a library of things in there that, you can go back through some of the live training that's been recorded. You can go through all kinds of stuff, and it takes, again, a lot of time. It can take a lot of time depending on your life. You may need more time, and it's worth it. Even the knowledge that you gain, if you choose not to take that, the knowledge that you gain from doing that extra month is going to be invaluable as you move forward with whatever it is that you choose to do. So consider that very carefully. Make sure it's a Thursday or a Friday so you can join us for 2 of our Saturdays. And that's going to, as Jamie said, it's going to change probably your life. It's changed a lot of ours, and there's a lot of success that's coming out of that workshop over and above our recommended marketing system and all the other training, because we can talk about it. You really can't talk about the trainings that are in a recommended marketing system because, they're recorded. That's why I like live events, and actually you can talk to some of the leaders after the live events. You can connect with the people, and you can ask the questions that need to be asked, and that's what our workshop is all about, and that's why we have a success rate, because everybody's getting mentored free. They have a marketing system at their fingertips, and they're getting free mentorship of people that are succeeding already in the marketplace. Throw that out. Be careful of what you choose and how you choose it based on your lifestyle and your commitments to your family, work, or whatever it may be.
Awesome. What I love most about the workshop is, and I'm one of the products of the workshop, because I was scared to death to do videos, and I come in and Dave and Katie gave me some advice and I just did it. But what I love most about the workshop is a new business partner comes in it. And I say business partner because they're not newbies. They went and did a video to get into the workshop to tell us about themselves. So you're no longer a newbie. Most people won't even do a video because they're too scared to do it. But a new business partner, because that's what you are when you come in the Workshop Warrior Institute. You're one of our new business partners. Says, I have nothing to teach. Well, what did you do this week? Well, I went through this training, this training. Did you take notes? Yes, I did. Okay, then teach us. Because you just learned something all week. Now teach us. That's what the Learn, Do, Teach method is. And that's why we encourage everybody to take their 10 minutes of fame and teach. And it can be just to fine-tune your videos or fine-tune your message, or to fine-tune your Facebook Lives, and maybe just to get some practice in. But you can't come in and say, I don't have nothing to teach because I'm a newbie, because, it's plain and simple. It's bullshit, because you have something to teach. You have some value to give. We all have some value to give. And, like Maria, I'll give you Maria, for example. Maria was a rock star on her hangout with Sonia. Then she come into the workshop and said, well, I don't understand. I don't have nothing to teach. And she was just beating the crap out of herself in the workshop. And we're like, Maria, go look at who you are on the workshop with Sonia, and then come back and look at who you are in the Workshop Warrior Institute. Bring who you're on the workshop with Sonia with to the Workshop Warrior Institute. And a light bulb went off in her head, and she's been kicking it ever since. We even let her lead the workshop one time, and she was just blowing it up, So, and Maria's one of our success stories too. She is a special lady, and she's kicking butt out there. And her favorite quote is, I have a question. And I love Maria's questions, you know, especially when I teach her something, she's always got a ton of questions for me.
Yeah, we love questions, don't we, Jamie?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely love them. Love them. And I love it when she says it. She tries to veer off like, maybe I have something to say. I'm like, no, you have a question. You have a question. Pops, you wanted to say one more thing.
And they are very good questions. And she had asked some questions that opened our eyes. As an example of what we were talking about earlier, somebody comes in and has a new idea, asks a question, and it goes, holy cow, heck yeah, this is a good idea. But another thing I wanted to bring up, in our workshop, it's a sterile environment, and that means that there's no recruiting. And if you are already in a network marketing something or other, an MLM or whatever you're in, we can certainly help you. There's people that are into MLMs and other things that they're doing that we don't have a clue what they're doing. We may know that it might be health products or whatever it is, but we don't know what company, have no idea. And we don't want to know, right? Unless, because there's no recruiting or any of that stuff, so it's a safe environment. And you will learn how to build your business through our workshop, like exponentially be able to build. And if you think you're shy, well, it won't be for long in the case of Maria and others. Joe Whistler was kind of quiet to begin with, and he's teaching almost every week. In fact, teaching only when he's not there. And you'll see him in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. I'm losing it. Go ahead, Katie. My throat's giving me fits.
I just wanted to say in the comments here, I asked the people in the comments here what their breakthrough was in the workshop. I just wanted to point out Carlene. She says it's amazing to see everybody grow, and she learned so much. And one of her breakthroughs is that her fear is gone. Her fear is completely gone, and she always gets honest feedback. And I think that's amazing. So it's really great that she can. That's actually a person of leadership who actually loves to take feedback and actually turn that into a learning, right? They can learn from it and they can tweak it, So it's good to have that type of breakthrough. So it's super, super important. We got about 2 minutes. We can wrap it up, or we can talk a little bit more, like press on the shiny candy like button down below the video. You said after the next 2 minutes, like my cat's saying bye meow. There you go. But Jamie, he just commented in there. I love that. So my biggest breakthrough was that the workshop believed in me when I could not believe in myself, which is so true. I love that. That's what we do. We encourage people. We tell them yes, they can, even if they don't believe it, because we've all been there. I'm telling you, we've all been there. So if you're kind of sitting through this video and you're like, I don't know what you guys are selling, I don't know what you're talking about, but let me just say that this is a break away from the mediocre 9 to 5, work for 40 hours, and retire. You have to wait. And maybe some of you are thinking, like, we already said network marketing. This is the network marketing thing. You know what? It's all of it. It's all of it. It's not necessarily network marketing. You can go transition into that. Or if you already have a network marketing company, we can teach you exactly how to. My goal, I love it when I want to be able to say, I made this person the top producer in their company. Number one. Will that be great? Just by a few skills, right? And practice and testing and tweaking and getting comfortable with what you're doing and finding your customers, because one of my mentors taught me, which is super eye-opening for me, and this was 4 years after I've been in business, okay, is that once you meet a customer or somebody's wants and needs, put them together, you've got yourself either a business partner, a customer, or a distributor, or whatever it is that you're a client, whatever it is that you're looking for. Once we can teach you how to go out there and show how to get their wants and needs met. And then you got yourself, you're golden, you know? So I wish I knew that years ago, but we're going to try to cut that learning curve down. So that's our whole thing. So we want you to succeed. We're not here just talking fluff, because that would just be stupid. But, all right, I think that's pretty much it. Anybody else have anything less to say?
I want to add something, and then we can close out. You know, you said, what are we selling? We're selling a way for you to find you, the person that you are meant to be. We will chip away the rough edges, and the real person will rise out of the ashes, because that's what we do. That's what Katie and Dave and Pops did to me. They chipped away the rough edges, and out I emerged. A person that was scared to do videos, you know, and here I am today. I'm not scared to do videos. And he said, Jamie, maybe you haven't been making no content like that. Yeah, I've been in learning mode for the last couple of months, and what I've been learning has been big, you know. So just wait. I will rise out of the ashes again and deliver some awesome stuff for you guys. And, you know, and that's what this workshop does. That's what we're selling, how to find you. So that's my final thoughts. And you guys have any final thoughts? If not, we'll wrap up.
I do have one thought, and I want you to realize that this is serious stuff. This is the rest of your life, potential rest of your life. So we like to have fun, and we do have fun, but we take it serious. It's very serious. It's our lives. We're investing a lot of time and money into our education and in trying to help people get out of where we came from, actually, and that's basically who we connect with. Our story relates to people who have familiarity with our story because they're in the same type of environment. However, we all like humor, and when I'm wearing my glasses case is often sitting open like this, and where is it? There. This says just. Katie wrote it on a piece of cardboard and put it in my glasses case, and it now is just in case. Wait, you got my finger.
Oh, I think I'm a little bit choppy, so I'm going to see if when I'm speaking. So here's his glasses case, and then there's the just. So just in case. Just want to make sure everybody saw that, because the video was probably a little choppy.
Yeah. Okay. Have a great week, everyone.
Awesome, just in case. Well, it's top of the hour, and we're going to close out. Do you have something you want to say, Katie?
No, I was just still giggling. That's all.
Okay. Make sure you catch Katie and Dave Renica on Wednesday, Pat Patterson, Dave Renica, Katie Stage, Tandy Davis, and Dave Sisler. And then make sure you catch me Thursday night on Jamie Sharrow Marketing Show. And then if you get in on Friday, you can catch the Workshop Warrior Institute on Friday morning. So we'll see you all next week on the 24-Hour Marketing Mastermind. Have a good night.